Hey guys, how you going? Hope you're all doing very well tonight, or whatever time it is in your part of the world. This evening I'm going to be doing a movie review. Now this isn't a horror film, it's more of a psychological sort of drama. So I'm sorry for all you horror fans out there, but hopefully you still find this video interesting enough to watch. It is an Irish film, so it's in English, so you don't have to worry about reading. It's made in 2009. It's not really a well-known film because I hadn't heard about this one before I actually rented it the first time. It's a 2009 film directed by Brendan Muldowney, and this movie is called Savage. Now, basically, Savage is set in Dublin, a city in Ireland, and this guy named Paul Grainer. Now, Paul Grainer is an alienated press photographer who lives in this bad side of Dublin, and he is a very likable sort of character. He's very timid, he's very shy, and kind of comes across as a bit of a wimp, but the kind of guy that wouldn't say anything bad about anybody. Just one of those guys that you couldn't help but like, and you would want to stick up for if anybody tried to stand over him. And unfortunately, in this film, a lot of people do take advantage of his mild sort of manner. He gets stood over a lot. People are basically not respecting him as much as he should be respected. So you really do sense some sort of sympathy for this character. And the first, say, 15, 20 minutes really gives you an insight into the life of this guy and how alienated he is, how shy he is, and he's very, very socially awkward. So you do get a lot of character development in this film, especially for the main character of Paul. He's very well likable, and he is, yeah, it sets him up for the whole film and the feeling that you'll have towards Paul when the juicy parts happen. So basically, yeah, Paul is in this city and he is walking home one night and he gets attacked by these two men. Now these two men are scumbags and they do some absolutely horrifying things to him. Now I'm not going to tell you what that's all about. You're going to have to, oh, nearly dropped it. You're going to have to watch that one to find out what I'm talking about. I'm not going to give anything away. But yeah, they brutalise him in a pretty bad way. And he wakes up in hospital, and this is where the movie really kicks off. He gets home and he basically jumping at his own shadow. He's scared of everything. There's a scene where on the street an old guy asks Paul for the time, and Paul absolutely flips out and runs away. So the events that happened a few days prior really did have an effect psychologically on this guy, and the injuries that he sustained, it's very realistic. You know, a lot of people, well, pretty much anyone would react the same way that this guy's reacted because it was barbaric what happened to him. So anyway, he's jumping at shadows, and he goes to self-defense classes. He's really trying to get his confidence back up, but it's not working. He's still very scared. And so you don't really know where this film's going to go from this point. But then he starts going from a very well-mannered, shy, sort of wimpy person and is slowly transforming into someone completely different. Now, this completely different person that he's turning into, it's not supernatural, it's just over the course of time he begins to change his personality. And he becomes a very dangerous, very scary sort of person, and you kind of feel that something really bad's going to happen. So that's as far as I go with the story. So it is a very psychological film. If you are a gore hound, you're probably not going to like this one. There is a little bit in here that will keep you happy, but it's a very slow build-up, and that's what I loved about this film so much. Now, I haven't seen a film this good in, I would say, nearly 10 years. I haven't, seen a film that has had this much of an impact to me as this film has. The As I said, it's a very slow building psychological, I guess you could call it a thriller. So a psychological thriller with very slow build up, and there's no blood and guts every 20 seconds. So basically the film starts very low here, and then as the film gets further and further, the tension is rising and rising and rising to the end where you think that, you know, he's going to explode. And throughout the whole film, he's slowly just building that tension, and it's not really a case of, say, three-quarters of the way into the film, it's not a case of if this guy's going to do something bad, it's a case of when this guy's going to do something bad, because he's on the edge. He really needed help, and I'm not going to tell you if he gets it or not, but, it's just a really scary sort of development from this well-mannered person to a complete a guy who is very much out of touch with reality. The acting was absolutely outstanding. Darren Healy, who played Paul, the main character, did a fantastic job. What I liked about his efforts so much was the fact that he could portray a very well-mannered, wimpy sort of guy, and then by the end of the film come across as a very psychotic individual. So I felt that this really required a good acting performance, and Darren Healy nailed it completely. Everything about this film was nailed. Now, I can't really give any criticism away. If I have one criticism, maybe the film was a little bit short. It was 84 minutes. But that's not a huge criticism, because even if you've got a short attention span, you're going to get through this one pretty easy, because the pacing is very good. So, yeah, I mean, the acting, the direction is very dirty, dull, not a lot of bright colours, which really suits the mood to the whole film. You go along on this hellish ride into insanity with the main character, and you really do feel sympathy for him. And he is a victim of circumstances, and he's suffering from his traumas in his past. And while you feel sorry for him, at the same time you're scared of him, because he could snap at any minute. And that's what keeps you on the edge of your seat in this film. The fact that he could snap any minute and anybody could be a target. So you're left thinking, oh, what's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? And if that's a movie's doing that to you, you know it's a very good sign, because it really grabs your attention, and from start to finish. Now, you probably think with the slow build-up it's boring, but it's just very skillfully shot. The director, Brendan Muldowney, he never gets stuck. So the pacing is all very good. I thought all of the scenes in the film were relevant to the overall story, so there was no bull crapping. And yeah, I mean, it's not a typical sort of horror film. So once again, if you're into the slasher kind of stuff, definitely stay away from this one. But if you like your films with a lot of depth, a lot of character development, then this one is certainly one for you. Now, what I wanted to talk about the most for this from this film. 3/4 of the way in, I kind of had a feeling that I knew how this was going to end, and I was kind of waiting for it. But when it happened, when the ending happened, 5 minutes after the movie finished, I was still looking at the screen. One word I can say about the ending is devastating. Absolutely devastating. One of the strongest, most powerful endings I've ever seen in my life, and I do not say that lightly. The ending to this film was just heartbreaking. I'll tell you that the movie is very appropriately titled. Now, I'm not going to give away what happens. It's something that I really don't want to spoil. So yeah, but all I can say is that the film, the film's ending was absolutely perfect for the overall film. If I could choose an ending for this film, I would have chosen exactly how this director has gone. It was absolutely shocking, devastating, and yeah, it was a very, very good payoff for the actual film. It was very relevant to the film. It wasn't out of the blue. Well, it was out of the blue, but if you know what I mean, it really did match the overall mood. And yeah, I mean, I can't get over the ending to this film. It was absolutely brilliant. This ending and Eden Lake's ending and The Mist are three of the best endings I've probably ever seen. Now, yeah, the ending is what made this film so good. Now, without the ending, it still would have been an okay film, a good film, but this is absolutely brilliant, and all because of how it was done. The acting was great. You know, the overall psychological sort of impact was great. There was a level of suspense in it because, as I said, you're on the edge of your seat wondering when this guy is going to snap. So a lot to like about this film, and if you are into the psychological dramas, this is definitely one to get. Even for the sick, twisted kind, I would definitely recommend this one, because it's got a bit in there that will make you very happy, and the whole film is worth it just for the ending. I mean, the ending was absolutely incredible. Now, this is one of my favourite films. I was really, really surprised by it. Very, very happy with what I got, and I'm sure a lot of you out there will be very happy with what you get. Yeah, but keep in mind the ending. It was absolutely incredible. Alright guys, that's my review. It's very late. I should get to bed. So until next time, I'll see you later. Bye.